often hear the good news about cancer breakthroughs, with survival rates greatly improving over the past decade. But for many forms of cancer, the prognosis is not good. More than half of all cancers failing to respond to current treatments. One of the world's leading medical research institutes has warned Australia needs to take drastic action on these so-called deadly cancers to prevent a tsunami of cancer cases. CEO of the Harry Perkins Institute of Medical Research, Professor Peter Leedman, joins me now from Perth, along with cancer survivor Steve Williams. Thank you both for joining us. Professor Leedman, if I can start with you. We do hear lots of positive stories about cancer success rates these days, and that is wonderful. But it is not the case with all cancers, is it? What are these so-called deadly cancers that are harder to break through?
Jacinta, there are a number of the more difficult and recalcitrant tumours to treat. And as you say, we have made incredibly big progress in a number of cancers, such as breast cancer, and improving the outcome. But the really recalcitrant tumours include liver cancer, pancreatic cancer, brain cancer, head and neck cancer, for example. And, we have to do better. There's a huge unmet clinical need in that area, and the world is getting together, and the Harry Perkins Institute in Western Australia is a very substantial player in that global push to improve the outcome in these cancers.
Yeah, there at Harry Perkins, you are fast-tracking research into these, I guess, less popular cancers. Are you having any breakthroughs?
Yes, there have been some breakthroughs, and working in a collaborative environment, we've come up with some new therapies for liver cancer, some new therapies for pancreatic cancer. We are now starting to understand the complexity for why cancers overcome or develop resistance, and how we can overcome that resistance. And we're developing really novel ways of delivering therapies directly to the tumour, and all of those together are having substantial impact on clinical outcomes.
Why is it that some cancers do get more attention, more funding, more publicity than other cancers?
I think that for example, breast cancer is very, very common. 1 in 8 women in Australia will develop breast cancer, and the vast majority will do incredibly well, over 90% 5-year survival. But triple-negative breast cancer is one of the ones we are focused on, has a very poor outcome. And so I think that even though the outcomes are fabulous for most women with breast cancer, we need to focus on the poor prognostic areas. Cancers such as liver cancer are becoming very, very common in other parts of the world, and also in Australia. And I think that it's typically been associated with risk factors such as alcohol and hepatitis B infections. But now the demographics are changing such that obesity and fatty liver is predisposing to liver cancer, and we're now starting to see that in a very different population. And so I think that's been one of the reasons it hasn't had quite the focus that we will need to pay attention to it in the forthcoming years.
The research you're doing there, it is really life-changing, but you need funds to keep it up, of course. To that end, you're hosting Australia's biggest cycling fundraising ride this weekend in WA. Steve, you're a veteran in this ride. What does it involve? Tell us.
I've been a rider. This will be my 7th year of riding this year. What it involves, Jacinta, it's quite easy to get involved. Jump online, get registered, get the bike out of the back shed, dust it off, pump the tyres up, get out and do some fundraising, and enjoy the weekend. It is a fabulous weekend and a great way to make money for the Perkins and the Institute. I think without the ride, without the funds, these people, Peter and Annette, they wouldn't be able to operate.
You're up to 7 years. You keep coming back. I imagine you have a pretty personal motive to get involved. What inspired you to take part?
I think when I was diagnosed with prostate cancer, it was after that diagnosis that I then learned that prostate cancer is a little bit similar to breast cancer and a few other cancers. They can be hereditary. It's in the genes. I have 3 children, 2 boys and a girl. Because I've passed on the genes. Unfortunately, they are now at high risk, especially the boys, who I've been told can be up to double the risk of contracting prostate cancer. So it became extremely important to me it's a case of do something or do nothing. So when I was informed or heard about the ride, I thought, well, I'm not a doctor, a scientist or a professor, but I can ride a bike. What a great, this was fabulous for me. I thought, oh, here's something that I can get out and do, raise some money, hopefully find a cure down the track for not only my children, but for other people out there that are suffering as well.
It's not just about raising money, of course. We're looking at pictures of the race as we speak. You can see the incredible camaraderie between cancer survivors and those who've lost loved ones to the disease, all getting together to this, I guess, joint end. Is that what you see? You must see some really inspirational stories on the road.
It's absolutely fabulous. The pit stops, the stories, everyone seems to has a story to tell. You get caught up in the friendship, the camaraderie. It's absolutely amazing. It's quite emotional as well, as you could imagine. Some people there's some stories there that are quite awful, but there they are. They're out there riding. They all have a reason to ride.
Professor
It's
Liebman,
fabulous.
Oh, well, you are one of the veterans, as we say, of the race, and we're wishing you all the best for this year. Professor Liebman, it must be incredibly rewarding being at the forefront of this groundbreaking medical research as you are. Just in summary, what are the greatest areas of need? Where are you putting all your focus at the moment?
Well, as I said, Jacinta, the poor prognostic tumours, the ones that are really recalcitrant and hard to treat, is where the Harry Perkins Institute is focused at the moment. Just to reiterate and say, and to emphasise what Steve said, the 26th and 27th of October 2019 is when the MACA Cancer 200 Ride for Research is happening. The community is behind it. It's making fantastic differences to what the Perkins can do, recruiting new people into the Institute, beefing up the science that we do that's world-class, and providing essential equipment for vital cancer research to make a difference to people locally, nationally and internationally.
All right, we're wishing you all the best then for the ride and for the ongoing work that you do there. Professor Peter Liebman and Steve Williams, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.